All right, you guys. 60,000 subscribers. It's awesome. I don't really know what to say. I'm just so stoked about this. We'll see how many people join. It's only been 15 seconds of this live so far, but yeah. If you have any questions, please just ask in the comment section in the chat. Just let me know. I'm just here to celebrate and have fun with you guys. I'm gonna do a live session for a little bit, and I got an idea that I want to share with you guys. Talking about like music theory and reading, like drum reading for beginners and stuff. So I might go through that in this live stream, but please let me know if you have any questions or anything. I see some people are starting to drop in. It's so much fun. First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for the amazing support on this channel. I can't believe that I've reached 60,000 subscribers here on this channel called That Swedish Drummer. And yeah, it's been quite a ride, you know. I started, you know, during when the pandemic came, when it hit Europe. You know, all the live shows and everything. You know, the world closed down. It's You all know this, but it was just so frustrating for me because I was just like my career was just like starting to take off. You know, in 2019, I got to play at like Sweden Rock Festival, the like one of the biggest rock festivals in Sweden and in Scandinavia. I got to play at the Gävle Metal Festival. I got to play the Eurosonic Festival in Holland, and I got to play the Roadburn Festival. Had a bunch of gigs lined up, you know, for 2020 as well. But you know, then the pandemic hit, so the world shut down. Musicians, especially, couldn't do anything. So that's when I started to put basically all my energy into content creating. So yeah, like the first half of 2020, you know, up till now, and you know, and here we are. So let's see. Peter, well done, fella. Love your style. Perfect for beginners. Already getting so much value from your content. That's awesome, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you for that comment. Aussie farmer, quite a ride. Haha. But I know. Let's see. I want to ask if I can be a part of your trainees on WhatsApp. No, I'm not giving out my WhatsApp. You know, I don't do that. I do want to do like Skype lessons or Zoom lessons or whatever in the future. You know, at the moment I can't do that from my studio because the reception in my studio is completely awful. It's terrible. When I've done like live streams from my studio, usually it's like pretty laggy. You know, the reception isn't great, but it is what it is. I'm gonna try to get some Wi-Fi in there eventually, so I can do you know, better live streams, and also I can do one-on-one online lessons. That would be awesome. Let's see here. 805 Breeze, congratulations, well deserved. You're a great drummer and teacher. Thank you for continuing to inspire me and people all over the world. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you're so welcome. If even one, you know, if just one person out of like 1,000 views actually, you know, takes my content and makes something out of it and, you know, make it their own, I'm super proud and happy about that. You know, I'm really proud of my channel. So yeah, you give value to your real drum groups. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, but yeah, that's the story, guys. the pandemic hit, and that's when I just started, putting all my energy into content creating on Instagram, and then YouTube. Started making even more lessons and stuff, and then I started 30-second drum lessons. So when the shorts format was taken off, I just started a shorts channel based on all the short format video content that's booming right now, or has been for the last like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, content creating has become a big part of my life, and it's awesome. It's so much fun to do that. I'm actually working on a few videos right now for you guys. I'm working on the forest sessions video, a lesson from the woods in the southern parts of Sweden. And I'm also working on a video for my channel members, exclusive for my channel members. And yeah, I'm at the last week of my vacation at the moment, so I'm gonna try to do some content before I start working again. But I'm not gonna stop. The content's gonna keep coming here. So, but yeah, thank you all so much for being a part of this channel, you guys. So I got an idea. Please let me know if you have any questions. Just keep writing or whatever in the chat. I really appreciate that. But I got an idea for you, my channel members. I know a lot of you guys are beginners, and some of you have written to me and explained like, oh, I can't read music, or I don't know music theory and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about I'm gonna explain note value a bit, and I'm also gonna try to explain how the drums are written out on staff paper, basically. So just write whatever you want. Of course, I got a piece of paper here, and I got a marker. So I'm gonna just try to explain note value, because this is very important when you want to learn music by yourself. Not necessarily if you're self-taught or whatever, but you don't have to be a professional musician and know how to read music. It's not that important, but it doesn't hurt, So knowing how to read music, note value, and reading music, it's just going to help you out anyway. So let's see here. Rob Warner, congratulations. Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. Your content is one of the most perfect drum grooves training, though. Keep up the good job, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so first I'm going to explain note value. Some of you guys may already know note value and some music theory, but this part of the live stream, I'm gonna break this and stop to read your comments, of course, but I'm just gonna go through basic note value, and hopefully you're gonna understand, because I've used this technique when I've been teaching my students about music theory, like basic music theory. And I just want to share that with you guys as well. It's a great kind of curriculum to use. So let's see here. Tate Lowe. Oh yeah, one of my newest members. What's up, Tate? Hello, everyone. Hope we're all having a good day. Yeah, I hope so too. All right, so note value. I'm gonna break this down in the most basic form, which is 4/4. So first of all, I'm gonna write this down. When you see a note like this is a whole note. So in a 4/4, let's see here, in a 4/4 rhythm, or 4/4 meter, 4/4. This might be mirrored for you guys, so sorry about that. But yeah, we got a 4/4. This whole note is worth all the 4 hits. So it's one hit that is worth 4 quarter notes, basically. So if you count this out, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. You know, so the whole note is worth that entire measure of 4 quarter notes. Now, what happens if we split the whole note in 2? You get 2 half notes. So I'm just going to do this. So the whole note is just a circle like this, or it's an oval, you know. When you divide it in 2 and get 2 half notes, you get 2, I mean, yeah, it's mirrored for you guys. It's supposed to look like this. I'm just going to do it the other way. Yeah. So it looks like this. It's a hollow circle with a staff. So this is a half note. So if we split this whole note in 2, you got 2 half notes, just like basic math. Now, if we split the half notes in 2, you get 4 quarter notes, and they look like this. Again, this is going to be mirrored for you guys, but I hope you can make this out anyway. I'm thinking about doing a course in music theory or basic music reading on my channel. Some parts for my members only, and also I'm going to do one public video. Let's see here, Tate. Yeah, I'm super happy to be one of your members. I can't guarantee I'll be for every month, but I will try my best. That's awesome, buddy. I mean, you do what you got to do. I'm super happy about your for your support. So thank you for being a member for now anyway. Can you break down and explain the herta, please? Yeah, I'll do that. I'm just gonna keep doing this first. Just gonna get through the first pyramid I'm doing. So again, we got the whole note. If we split that in 2, we got 2 half notes. If we split the half notes in 2, you get 4 quarter notes, which is 4, 4. So the 4 underneath the denominator, it's called, yeah. This stands for quarter notes. A 4 is, 4 hits or 4 beats, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 quarter notes. If we split all the quarter notes in 2, you get, 2 eighth notes per quarter note. So you get 8 eighth notes. And an eighth note, I'm just going to do my best. Okay, the first ones, they look like a quarter note, but with a little flag, So you can also write these with a beam. So you can write them out like this. Instead of writing, 8 individual eighth notes, you can also tie them together with a beam like this. So whenever you see this is 2 eighth notes. So this is basic music theory, and I mean, you can keep going with this. If you split an eighth note, you get 2 16th notes. So, I'm just going to do this really quick. You see it starts to form like a Christmas tree or, a pyramid or whatever. So if we split all of these eighth notes in 2, yeah, you get 2 16th notes. And 16th notes have 2 flags. So you got the whole note, just a circle, 2 half notes, a circle with a staff, and then you got the quarter note, which is a staff with a full circle or whatever, and then you got eighth notes, so it looks like a quarter note with a flag, and then you have 16th notes. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this, but it looks like a quarter note with 2 flags. So if we write out 4 16th notes, so 4 16th notes is the same value as 1 quarter note, you get this. So here you have 2 eighth notes, which is the same value as 1 quarter note. If we do this, if we write out 4 notes and add another beam, so you have the top beam and then you have a secondary beam right below it, you got 4 16th notes, which is the same value as 1 quarter note. So I hope this kind of explains note value. I'm not going to go into like 32nd notes and 64th notes. no one plays 64th notes. Like no one ever uses that in contemporary music, you know. So here you go. This is the 16th notes. If you see 4 of these in one, it's just, you know, 16 16th notes, which makes up 4/4, you know. Okay, so this is basic music reading. You know, you can watch this video whenever you want. I'm gonna post it in my live section of the channel, so you can watch it there. But I got a very good question here from DD Drums. Can you break down and explain the herta? And okay, the herta is a rudiment, drum rudiment, and like all rudiments, drum rudiments are usually named after the sound that they make. So like the paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. So para, you know, as like a pair, 2. So you got a pair of you know, single strokes, and then you got a double stroke. So the double stroke is also called a diddle. So paradiddle, paradiddle. The herta, you know, when you play it fast, it sounds like herta, 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 herta. You know, that's why it's called the herta. So the regular herta is made up of 2 16th notes followed by 2 8th notes. So it looks like this. When you write it out, let's see, it looks like this. In music theory wise, it looks like this. Again, this is going to be reversed or mirrored for you guys, but you know. So this is a herta. So you got 2 16th notes followed by 2 8th notes. So that makes up the 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and you know, herta, you know, herta, 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 herta. That's the herta. 2 16th notes followed by 2 8th notes. You can also write this out as when you do a, let's see, when you do 30-second notes and 16th notes, it looks like this. My drawing skills are so good. Okay, so 30-second notes, when you write them as a beam, they have 3 beams, you know. So this is 2 30-second notes followed by 2 16th notes. And when you play this in a meter of 4/4, you get a, like, what is it? 3 against 4 kind of polyrhythm. Because if the beat is right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Damn it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Damn, I can't. It's really hard to count out loud. I haven't practiced that in such a long time. But yeah, then you got like this. So here's the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's back to the 1. Damn, I can't. I couldn't even count that out loud. Sorry, guys. But yeah. So that's the herta. The herta is basically 2 notes that are, you know, whatever value, but 2 fast notes and 2 shorter notes. So 2 16th notes followed by 2 8th notes. You know, that's the herta. Ba-da-da-ba, 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 ba. Let's see here. Orion Quest, live long and prosper. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, by the way, here. Nahide or Nahid. Let's see here. Great lessons you have, brother. Please keep posting the drum lessons. Thanks. Greetings from India. I follow your lessons and practice at home. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to help you guys out. Let's see here. Tate. I don't think it's mirrored. I don't know if it can be different per person. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm watching this. I'm using the FaceTime camera on my MacBook. So for me, it's mirrored, you know. But yeah, that's the herta. Now, I do also want to explain music reading for you guys, because this is really useful, you know, as a musician, as a drummer. If you can read drum beats, you know, I always post my videos together with transcripts. So my channel members get a link, a Google Drive link with downloadable content. And I always post, if I have transcripts in the video, they can download the transcripts from the Google Drive link as well. I usually post transcripts, the click tracks, and usually my drum tracks as well. So you can practice together with my drum tracks. But yeah, so reading music, it contains like this. I'm just gonna make this as basic as possible. So just keep with me, or bear with me. When you read music, there are 5 lines like this. Okay, so let's do this. Man, my drawing skills are so good right now. Okay, so here we have one measure. This is a staff paper, basically. So you got 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which makes up 4 spaces as well. So if you play a melodic instrument, all of these lines and spaces make up different notes, you know, different tones. So you got, like, if you have a treble clef, you know, right here, this would be a G, and the C is down here and it's up here. So in drumming, it's not really the same thing. In drumming, it looks like this, for example. So let's say, again, this is 4/4. So I'm writing this out. We've got 4/4 here. So this is one measure of 4/4. Right up here, above the top line, or on the top line, basically, if I write like this, I write 4 X's with a staff, like this. The X above the top line is the hi-hat. It's usually always the hi-hat, which is on top right here. So this is 4 hi-hat hits, you know. If I would write this out instead, I'll do a beam, and we'll do 8 hi-hat hits. You get an 1/8 note subdivision. So you usually see this in my you know, beginner lessons. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 X's with a staff right here. That is 8/8 notes, and that's the subdivision you play on your hi-hat. So the X right on top of the line, always the hi-hat. Down here, if we go to the space right here, right in between the last 2 lines, right down here, if we write a note down there, that's usually the bass drum. So you can either do this, I'm gonna do it like this. It all depends on, you know, you can write it however you like, but you can always do this. So if I write a note down here, this is the bass drum, and it hits the exact same place as the first hi-hat hit. So that's a quarter note, which is the bass drum. The bass drum is always written in the lowest space on the staff paper. If I write a note right here, I can connect this to the hi-hat. I'm gonna write it on beat 2. And as you can see, I extended the staff and wrote a note right here. And this is the snare drum. The snare drum is usually always in this space right here, in the second space. First space, second, third, fourth. So in the second space, that's where the snare drum is. So now we have the first half of a 4/4 beat. These are the first 2 beats right here. So you got the bass drum on the 1, snare drum on 2. If I write out another bass drum here and connect this dot here, this is a basic 4/4 groove. Boom, bah, boom, ba, doom, da, doom, da. So this is basic music reading. Um, so this is really good to know. It's not that important. I mean, some teachers would say you have to learn how to read music. I don't think it's really that important to know how to read music. Most of my heroes, I mean, most of the biggest drummers in the world, they don't know how to read music. Most of them are like basically self-taught, or they're taught how to play drums, but they don't know music theory, and that's fine. You know, you don't have to know music theory to be a successful musician. But again, it doesn't hurt to know music theory, because let's say, I mean, in today's world, a lot of the music jobs that are out there are like, you know, you're a musician on a cruise liner or something, like on a boat, or if you have residency on, you know, at a restaurant or something, or a bar, and like they have the house band. Um in those situations, especially if you tour, you know, if you're on a boat and you play with a band on a cruise liner or whatever, uh, you probably need to know how to read music. You can probably get away with it if you're a really good drummer with, you know, good hearing, and you can pick up songs and know, you know how to play songs by heart. But the the cruise liner bands usually switch out songs like in the middle of the set. You know, they most bands on cruises and stuff like that, like, you know, house bands, they have to learn, you know, let's say 100 songs. Wouldn't be a surprise. And you know, they might be playing one set one night, and then they realize, oh, the audience isn't vibing to this music. Let's switch it out and play some other music. And you might not have had time to practice the entire song, but they might play after notes. So they might be like, oh, okay, let's go to page 27 and play Rosanna by Toto or whatever. And maybe you haven't learned that entire track yet, or I mean, you don't know the exact like way the band's going to play it. If you don't know how to read music, you're going to be in trouble, you know. So knowing how to read music is just going to help you out, because it can save you if you're in a tight spot, like, oh, I don't know the song, but I do have the sheet music for this, and you can just scroll through it and be like, oh, okay, there's like an eighth note, or sorry, 8 bars of intro, 16 bars of verse, 8 bars chorus, 16 bars of verse, pre-chorus. You know, like if you know all of that, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna help you out immensely. So yeah, this is basic music reading. Um, Again, this is just a basic groove. The bass drum is always in the lowest space, snare drum in the second uh, top, and right on top of the line is the hi-hat. And this is mostly what you need to know. If we write another one, this is fun, right? Let's see here. I'm just going to draw my 5 lines again here. So what you just saw was a basic 4/4 groove, you know, the Billie Jean groove, or every other AC/DC song. It's just a simple 4/4 groove. So let's do this, another one. I'm gonna do this. Again, you guys, thank you so much for being supportive of this channel. It's awesome. Let's see here. Dieter Steinhardt, you look like Leonardo DiCaprio. Nice, thank you. I actually got, when when I was 20 and I went to MI in Los Angeles, I got a few classmates that actually said that exact same thing about me. Like, hey, Leo, you look like Leo DiCaprio. And I'm like, really? This guy? Let's see here. Tate, got a dash. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Have a good week. You too, Tate. Have a good one. All right, so now that was the basic 4/4 groove. So let's do this. I'm just gonna write this out. X on top, right here. This is the hi-hat. If you write the X on the top line like this, I mean, I don't know if you can see this. I'm probably gonna do again. Probably gonna do a video at some point about this and have a real, transcription written out in from MuseScore, the software that I'm using. But this one, like if you write it on the line, not on top of the first line, but on the line, this is usually the ride. So this is the ride symbol. This is the hi-hat. And even though it might not be important, but let's do this. If you see a small line like this, it looks like a star now, but if you see this, if it's an extra line written up here and you have an X in it, that's usually a crash or whatever. So you can write it out as a China or a splash or whatever. It's usually a crash, but So okay, we got the symbols cleared out. Now, if I write a note here, I'm just gonna put dots. I'm not gonna do the staff and everything. This is usually the first tom. So not every drummer has a 5-piece kit. I mean, you don't have to have that. But the first space is usually the first tom. So let's say you have a 5-piece kit where you have a snare drum, a 10-inch rack tom, a 12-inch rack tom, and a 14-inch floor tom. And then you have the bass drum. This is usually the high tom, the first rack tom, the 10-inch. If you write a dot on the second line, on the line, not on top of it in the space, but on the line, that's usually the second tom, the 12-inch in this case. And then again, when you write a note in the second space, that's the snare drum. The snare drum is always written in the second space from the top. So this is the snare drum. And this one, I mean, we're just gonna say we have one floor tom. I'm not gonna go too crazy and have like, oh, I have 2 floor toms or 3 floor toms. This note right here in the third space, or the second from the bottom, this is the floor tom. So just one floor tom. So you got hi-hat, ride, crash, first tom, second rack tom, snare drum, and then you got the floor tom. And then, of course, in the bottom space right here, here is the bass drum. And this is basically all you need to know when reading music, If you ever see, this is just like a bonus, if you see a note like this and it has parentheses next to it like this is a ghost note. And if you haven't watched my videos and you don't know what a ghost note is a soft tap on the snare drum. Ghost notes are mostly and usually played on the snare drum, not on the toms. You can play ghost notes on toms as well, but the ghost notes are, I mean, they're written out mostly for the snare drum, because you play ghost notes on the snare when you're playing a groove, or you play soft ghost notes when you're playing a fill on the snare drum, because the snare drum is so it's a much tighter drum than all the other drums, like the toms and everything. They're bigger and boomier. The snare drum is built to have that high, even low pitched or high pitched, whatever, but it has to have that attacky sound because it has the snare wires underneath the snare. So the ghost notes, these soft taps on the snare drum, gives off the small little detailed hit from the snare wires. So that's the ghost note. So if you ever see a parentheses, a note, inside a parentheses, that's a ghost note. So yeah, this is my basic music theory course in this 60K subs celebration live stream. But yeah, I'm gonna do this for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm just so thankful for all my viewers, all my subscribers, and also a huge thanks to all my channel members. Um, I know that most people can't join the channel membership because it's too expensive for their budget, and I totally get it. Um, uh, I just want to reach out to my channel members and say thank you for the extra support because it helps a lot with the income that I get from YouTube. YouTube takes 30% of all the AdSense income. So even though I can make a little bit of money, it's not enough to pay rent and make a living out of this. But the channel membership definitely helps, and it's really fun to make some extra content available for my channel members. So if you're not a channel member, please consider joining because you have two tiers to um, choose from. You got the shell pack, which is I don't know what it says in your currency. For me in Swedish crowns, it's 29 kroners, which is basically like I don't know $2 or something, $2.3 or whatever. And then if you join that, you get early access to all my videos. So you get early access 2 days before the video goes public. You also get a downloadable content link, a Google Drive link that I post with transcripts from the lesson, my drum recordings, and click tracks as well, so you can practice too. Just if you don't have a metronome or a metronome app or whatever. And then you have the full kit membership, and full kit is everything from the first tier from Shell Pack, but you also get exclusive live streams. I'm doing this live stream for all my subscribers because I just want to celebrate with all you guys. But full kit members get exclusive live streams. I haven't done that much during this summer because I have to take a break as well, but I've managed to do a few. And then I also post bonus lessons for all my full kit members. So they get extra lessons that no other subscriber or channel member can see unless you're in the full kit membership. And I'm actually working on a lesson right now that I'm going to post for my full kit members only. So yeah, those and the full kit is about $5 a month. So it's like a Starbucks coffee a month to get some extra content from me. So that's why I'm really thankful for all my channel members as well. So extra thank you to all my channel members. Let's see here. Hi from the Philippines. Hey, what's up? Hi. Got some hearts and snare drums. Happy 60K, brother. Thank you so much. Drummer 58FA320 asks, what is your favorite cymbal company? It's Paiste, man. I'm a Paiste endorser. I'm a Paiste artist. I've played a lot of different cymbals in my life, and I can definitely tell you that all major cymbal brands, like you usually talk about the big four, which is Paiste, Sabian, Siljan, and Meinl. And all of these companies makes terrific cymbals. They wouldn't exist unless they did create awesome cymbals. But Paiste, they reached out to me, and I was honest with them, and I said, actually, I haven't played that many Paiste cymbals. I'm kind of not used to Paiste as a sound, so I just welcomed them and be like, hey, show me what you got, and let me try out a few cymbals. And yeah, Paiste has some exceptional cymbals, and the sound is really unique. Every cymbal company has a unique kind of sound, but the Paiste one is, I don't know, it really cuts through the mix. If you play a lot of live shows and if you record drums, for a living or as a hobby, Paiste is really great for that. They really stand out, and it's fun to know that even though like let's say we'll take Chad Smith for example. Chad Smith is the drummer for Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Chad was he's a Paiste artist now, but he was a Sabian artist for I don't know like 20 years or something. And I mean, I love Sabian. Sabian is a great cymbal company. They're so inventive, you know. But he told, I think it was on Paiste, or if it was on Drumeo or whatever. Uh, Chad actually said, "Well, I mean, even though I was a Sabian artist for a long time, when we recorded the albums for Chili Peppers, I recorded with Paiste cymbals in the studio because they can really cut through the mix, you know. So it all depends on the sound that you want with your drums, but yeah, Paiste is the cymbal company for me. That they've been really supportive, and the gear I got is just so good." Let's see here. Frederick, congrats from the Netherlands. Thank you so much. Oh, what do you say? Alsjeblieft or whatever. My Dutch is terrible. I know how to say like dankjewel. Let's see here. Orion Quest. What was the toughest drum part you encountered when you were starting out? Oh man. Uh, what was that? Drumming part. That's a tough question. I mean, it was such a. I've been playing for almost 22 years. Um, but okay, one thing that was definitely a real tough thing to get into was practicing to a metronome. That was really tough for me. I usually started out, you know, just I took drum lessons, learned how to play grooves, and you know, work on my technique and you know, footwork and snare drum work and everything. Um, and then I started practicing to songs. You know, I started practicing to a lot of Rammstein, Black Sabbath, AC/DC. You know, like easier hard rock and modern rock music and stuff. Um, but you know, after like a year of drumming, my first year of drumming, my teacher said, like, "Okay, you got to start working with a metronome. You got to start practicing with a metronome." And even though I put it on a you know, medium to low tempo, whatever, like 70 or 60 BPM, it was so hard, man. It was so tough to start practicing with a metronome. It's yeah, it's that was really hard for me in the beginning, but really fun to know now. I mean, the metronome is supposed to be your friend. It's your ally when you're practicing drums. You know. Let's see here. Gregory, congrats, buddy. You're gonna hit 100,000 in no time and deserve it. Thank you so much, Gregory. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. I hope so. I hope by the end of the year we're gonna reach 100,000 subscribers. And then I'll get my second silver play button. I got one for 30-second drum lessons, and that channel just reached 270,000 subscribers. So that's kind of insane. But yeah, I'm hoping to reach 100,000 here. Then I'm definitely gonna do like a big celebration live stream, hopefully from my drum set. But you know, we'll see. Congrats from Joel. Thank you so much. Rob asks, on your drum kit, your floor toms are using 14-inch and 16-inch. Yeah. So my entire bass or my entire drum kit, I don't have all the toms up. I do have an eighth note. Eighth note. I got an 8-inch rack tom as well. But my setup right now is the toms are 10, 12 rack toms, and then 14, 16 on the floor toms. And then I got a 22-inch bass drum. I have, as you might have seen on my channel, I got quite a snare drum collection. I got 7 snare drums. But I mostly actually use my Sonar Benny Greb snare drums. I I got two snare drums, one my main snare drum in the middle, and then I got an auxiliary snare drum by the side, usually tuned a bit lower so I can get two different snare drum sounds if I'm playing to a song and want a different sound for another section in in the song. And those are 13-inch snare drums. So yeah, I really dig 13-inch snare drums. I know 14-inch is like the standard for snare drums, and it's great depending on what you do. They kind of work the best all around. But these Benny Greb snare drums from Sonar, or Sonor as it's actually pronounced, they're so good. I mean, they're the most versatile and great snare drums I've ever used. And I mean, I love my Pearl reference series drum kit, and I love my Pearl snare drums as well. I got 3 Pearl snare drums, and they sound awesome. But I don't know, the Sonor snare drums, that they're really unique, and I really love 13-inch snare drums. Thank you, Bill. Yeah. Hell yeah. I know that one. Well said. Keep up with the good work. Love your small, easy to follow posts. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you so much. Maxim Papa, what's your snare drum? There you go. I answered that. What's your favorite snare drum? Yeah, the Benny Greb Sonar snare drums. Those are my favorites. So I got the Mark I Beechwood snare from Benny Greb, and these are 13. This is why I love Sonar as well, because they can make drums in very specific measurements. Like they have the 13-inch, and it's usually the depth of a snare drum is usually like 5 or 6.5. That's the standard depth for a snare drum. Sometimes it's 8 as well if you want like Danny Carey snare drum sound. But the Benny Greb snares are 13-inch in diameter, and the depth is 5.75. So it's close to 6, but it's not really there. And I think, according to Benny, when he designed the snare drum, he wanted the power from like the power and loudness from a 14-inch snare, but he wanted a small, like a 13-inch as a size, just to get that poppy sound as well, like a little bit more of almost like a piccolo sound. So the 13 by 5.75 inch size is actually good for versatility. So the snare drum can be tuned really high. I can really crank these snares up and have like a solid, like almost funk snare drum, like think Tower of Power snare drum. And then the depth also gives that extra like beefiness to the snare. So I got the Mark I Beechwood snare, which is fantastic. He's got a Mark II that he came out in 2020, I think it was, or 2021. And then I also have the brass version. That's one of the newer ones. So when he came out with the new ones in 2021 or whatever it was, he came out with a Beechwood, same snare drum basically, just a little different design, and they also added internal muffler system. So they have something called the rail or whatever. I don't remember at the moment, but they have two internal mufflers. So on each side of the snare drum, you can just turn a little knob and they lift up either the felt muffler or the sheep, it's called. So it's like a big slab of wool or whatever, and you can use both too if you really want to dampen the snare. So or muffle the snare drum. So yeah, I don't know. I get a question here. Which Benny Greb snare is your favorite? I think the brass one is my favorite. Because brass it's a warmer type of metal. It's not as harsh and pitchy as metal or stainless steel. But yeah, the Um, the brass snare is definitely one of my favorites. I actually let my singer try my drum set a few days ago, and even he was like, when he played the snare drum, he was like, "Dude, I love this snare drum." you know, yeah, it's really good. If you know how to tune and take care of a snare drum, you can have a really good time playing that snare drum. Let's see here. Orion Quest. How old is too old to learn drums? Never. I mean, you can't be too old to learn how to play drums. You can't be too old to learn anything new. Uh, we're born students and we die students. Basically, you can never learn too much. If you're 90 years old and you want to learn how to program, and be like, oh, I'm gonna sit here in the C sharp or whatever and program in Java. You can take courses and just learn that. I mean, you're never too old to learn anything. Uh, the only difference is when you start young. If you're like Vinnie Colaiuta or Virgil Donati, they started drumming when they were like 3 or 7 years old or something. When you're younger, your brain is like a sponge, so information is way faster registered in your mind, and like the muscle memory of a child is way more effective than when you're an adult. So it usually takes a bit longer to learn something new when you're older. If you're young, the mind is the brain is basically a sponge, so it's built the way to just extract information and data. So it's just a bonus if you start young. You're probably going to learn stuff faster, but you're never too old to learn anything. If I ever hear that, like, oh, it's too late for me, man, I'm like, that's total bullshit. Sorry, but that's horseshit, man. No, you're never too old to learn anything new. Let's see here. Maxime asks, wood or metal snare drum do you prefer? If it's wood or metal, I mean, I guess wood, because wood has a bit of a warmer sound to it. And I mean, it all depends on the situation. It's a tough question because as a session drummer, one musician or one song might require a warmer, woodier sound, from the snare drum, and another song might need like a way harsher, brighter tone from a metal snare. So I guess if I have to choose, I'm gonna say wood, because wood is just, you can really rely on it. Sometimes metal snares have this, they can get this pingy sound. They can have a really annoying ring to them that you don't really get with a wood snare drum usually. But if I have to choose a metal snare, I'm definitely gonna go with brass. I mean, I have steel drums as well. I have a steel snare drum that sounds fantastic, but brass is a little bit of a warmer metal. So if I gotta choose between, brass, metal, bronze, copper, or whatever, or aluminum, I'm definitely gonna go with brass. But all snare drums, they have their own characteristics. That's why I have 7 snare drums. Even though I love my Benny Greb snare drums, if I play to a song or do a session that requires another snare drum, I might bring my steel snare drum, with a 1 millimeter shell, so it's really thin and really loud. Zero. Jewel Williams from Arkansas. I love your drumming. You're good. How often do you practice? Thank you so much for your kind words. I try to practice at least 3 times a week. And depending on the day, sorry, there's a fly in here. Depending on the day, I try to practice for at least 2 hours. Sometimes I'm in my rehearsal space or my studio I can be there for like 6 hours, no problem. But usually I try when if I'm there for 6 or 7 hours, I usually try to combine both practice and content creating. So I might spend 2 hours practicing. It might be practicing songs that I have to learn for a session or for a live gig or something. Uh, and then I might do content creating for 3 to 4 hours or whatever, depending on what I'm doing. If I just want to spend a few hours making some shorts or Instagram reels, or I might spend those entire like 3 or 4 hours making a YouTube video. Because then I got to plan like, okay, what I'm gonna do. Um, I should record this. I'm gonna write this out. I'm gonna do a groove video. I'm gonna do a fill video, or I'm gonna do like a video like today. We're gonna talk about music theory. Um, so I usually plan that out, and then I record the drumming part first, where I break things down, and then I do the talking thing. And the talking part usually takes the most amount of time because English is my second language. Swedish is my mother tongue. So even though I'm very fluent in English, I might babble on a few times or mispronounce things, and it's just really. I'm a perfectionist, so I don't want to sit in my videos and sound like a Swede. Like, oh, today we're going to talk about snare drum playing, and then we're gonna play some grooves and drum fills, and have really much fun behind the drum set. That's usually how a Swede's, how a Swede speaks English with a Swedish accent. But yeah, so a long answer to a very good question. Sorry, but yeah, I try to practice at least for 2 hours. If I'm just practicing, I don't want to practice for 5 hours. I don't do that anymore. I did that when I went to college and when I was younger, but I can learn stuff faster now, so I don't really need to practice songs or rudiments or fills for more than a few hours. So I don't want to spend half a day in the studio and then come out and be like, the sun is down. Like I can't. There's nothing to do today. Let's see here, Maxim. Which brand of pedal do you love to play on? Well, two of them that I actually use the most are the Pearl Eliminator, a double chained pedal. Those are phenomenal. I used mine yesterday when I had a gig. But the ones that I'm using on my drum set in the studio are double pedals, and they're the Tama Speed Cobra. They're excellent. They have a huge, long pedal board, and they're really responsive and fast. It's great for fast double pedal playing, and they're really responsive. So yeah, the Tama Speed Cobra, excellent kick pedal. Let's see here. Gregory, great answer. It's important to keep learning, especially as you age. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, and especially drumming, it's very good, like for, anything, like, keeping up with, uh, like drumming can almost be like tongue twisters, when you play polyrhythms and stuff, you got to think in two different meters at the same time. And that's like, uh, the older you get, the uh, if you sit with like math problems and stuff, that's really good for your brain to keep up the work. Because the older you get slower. You start to forget things or whatever. I mean, everyone's different, but it's just really good to keep up with things. And music, especially, as long as you play an instrument, that doesn't have to be drums. Although drums is a very good instrument to play when you're older because you're multitasking. You're playing with four different limbs. Um, it's just gonna. I mean, so many studies show that music is really important for the brain function, basically. So yeah, let's see here. Wajahat. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. Hey man, how are you? I just started drum by watching your video. I played lead guitar all my life. I'm 30. Nice. Thank you for watching my videos, and I hope you have fun with your drumming. Maxim, let's see here. Are you a Toronto Maple Leafs a fan of Toronto Maple Leafs? I mean, I'm not a sports guy. I mean, I know that they're a hockey team, but I have no interest in hockey. Sorry about that. But yeah, I know about them. I can't say I'm a fan because I don't watch sports. I don't want, especially hockey. Uh, no offense. But we've had some Swedes in Toronto Maple Leafs. I know we've had Sudden, and we've had oh, what's his name? Börje Salming was in Toronto Maple Leafs as well, and he recently passed away. So that's very sad. I know they have a lot of legends playing in that team. Sorry for not drumming question. No worries. This is just a 60K celebration video, so you can ask me anything. Gregory, and I'm 61, just started playing 2 years ago. Loving it. That's awesome. That's awesome, Gregory. Hell yeah. And congrats on 60 grand people subscribers. Thank you, Maxim. Thank you. Yeah, this is so much fun, you guys. Thank you for all of your support. Ultimately, like to all my channel members, thank you so much. To all my viewers, to all my subscribers, to everyone who's ever given me a super thanks, huge thank you for that. I mean, it's really fun when you're doing a live stream and then it pops up like, oh, someone donated like $50. I'm like, what? It's amazing. So thank you everyone for your amazing support. And yeah, I'm gonna do this for a couple of more minutes. Then I gotta go get some late lunch. It's like 3 p.m. here in Sweden. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions or anything, and we'll keep going. And just as a recap, for the ones that are joining now or joined in the last few minutes, we've talked a little bit about music theory, which is really good to know. It's not necessary, but it's really good to know some basic music theory. So just for the guys that don't know, this is a whole note. It's worth all of the 4 chord notes in a 4/4 measure. If you split that in 2, you have 2 half notes, which is worth 2, 2 quarter notes each. If you split these in 2, you get 4 quarter notes, which is the 4/4 measure. If you split these in 2, you get 8 eighth notes. So 2 eighth notes is worth 1 quarter note. And then if you keep splitting these in 2, you get 16th notes, then you get 32nd notes, 64th notes, whatever. So this one is, you're going to run into this one a lot. You're not going to run into that many 32nd notes or 64th notes, especially 16th notes. 4 16th notes is the same as 1 quarter note. And then again, we've gone through the ferta a little bit. And then, just knowing on like staff paper on like how drum is written out. There's an X on top of the line. That's the hi-hat. The ride cymbal is on the line. Like if you see a small line and a cross over it like this, it's usually a crash. And then you got the first rack tom, like let's say it's a 10-inch. Second rack tom right here on the second line, 12-inch rack tom. Snare drum is always in the second space. In the third space, floor tom, and on the bottom space, you got the bass drum. So this is just an example on how to write out a simple 4/4 groove. The Billie Jean groove. So there you go, simple music theory. I'm probably going to do a video on this as well. Let's see here. John Robinson. Hi, CJJ. CJJJJ. Hi, CJ. I just wanted to say hello. Thank you, John. Hello to you too. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for watching. Gregory, maybe sometime you can do a little video showcasing your studio inside and around the property. Love seeing your country's beauty. Um, yeah, I might do that. I've done a video, from my studio. My members can see a studio tour. So if you want to become a full kit member, you can watch a studio tour that I'm showing my rehearsal space slash studio. You can see my microphone setup. You can see my drums, what it looks like around in the room, my snare drum collection, like what it looks like. Um, I might do some more outdoor drumming, in around my hometown, but just for safety issues, and I don't want to show everyone in the world, especially here in my city, like, oh, this exact number is the one in my rehearsal space. Like, I don't want to, let too many people know where my rehearsal space is. But that's a good idea, though. Let's see here. Jacob, is it helpful to learn and practice all rudiments or just some? Um, I mean, I don't know all the rudiments. I certainly don't practice all the rudiments. Um, uh, I can definitely say I probably use maybe like 10 out of the 40 standard rudiments in my playing. I mean, I never use like the potty fla fla, or I don't use the radamakue that much. You don't need to know all the 40 rudiments. It's just, I mean, if you want to practice them, go for it. It can be fun if you have some downtime at home and you just have your practice pad and a pair of drumsticks. Practice the rudiments. It's not going to hurt. But the rudiments are more for marching drums and drum corps and stuff. So you know unless you're a marching band drummer or whatever, you're not going to use the all of the rudiments. I certainly don't. I mean, my go-to rudiments, like three of them, there are not, like, except for like single stroke or double strokes or paradiddles. um, I think my three most used are, like, it's the blushta, the six-stroke roll as sextuplets usually, and then like flams or the left flam triplet or something. Yeah, I don't really apply like all the rudiments on the drum set. So yeah, that's just my uh, point of view. Gregory, I enjoyed seeing you on vacation in the woods. Yeah, I'm gonna release a members only video from the woods, and also I'm gonna do one more from the woods. It's in the editing process right now. Yeah, safety first. Hell yeah. Oliver, what is your favorite stick trick? I mean, I don't use stick tricks. It's fun to watch. Like if you watch like Estepario Siberiano, like if you watch him, he's great at it. Tossing the drumsticks and he catches it and whatever. But I never do that. First of all, because it's unnecessary. It's cool for social media drumming, and sometimes if you do it live, like if you watch the drummer, it's like, oh man, did you see he twirl his sticks and tossing them up in the air? It's fun to watch. It's showmanship. But I never do stick tricks, in my videos. I did the little juggling thing, and that's just because it's fun to do something. But I've done this so many times. I can't do it with a pen, but this trick, super simple. If I'm playing with a rock band and they want the drum, they want me, oh, stand out and do some stuff, I might be like, yeah, twirl the sticks while I'm playing with one hand and double bass drum. But I'm not impressed by stick tricks that much. I like watching it a few times. I think one of the most badass stick tricks I've seen is Virgil Donati when he played a drum solo during a Steve Vai concert. So he took both his drumsticks and twirled it backwards like this. I usually twirl them forwards, but he twirled them backwards while playing the drums. So in between every twirl, hit like the cymbals and toms and everything, and played a funky groove with it. I'm like, damn, I can't do that. So it looks cool, but it's totally unnecessary. It might impress a few drummers or a few people in the crowd, but what if you drop your sticks? It's just gonna look dumb. Let's see here, Jacob. After timing, what do you think is the number one skills a drummer should have? Okay, so I would say playing pocket, but pocket is being able to keep time as well. You got if you can keep time and play a good pocket, you're all good. But number one skill as a drummer, that's a good question. Timing is very important, but also sound. Okay, so dynamics. Dynamics is one of the most important aspects of a drummer, definitely. So time, very good. But if let's say you can play time as like a beast, just yeah, I'm in the pocket, whatever. If you play that very stale and with no dynamics, it's even if you play in time, it's not going to be fun to listen to. It's not going to feel good if you play in time, but without uh, without dynamics. So dynamics is that's very important. But yeah, thank you so much for your questions, guys. This has been really fun. I'm gonna save this live so you can rewatch it, whenever you want. It's gonna be under the live tab on my channel. Again, thank you so much for 60K subscribers. It's so awesome. Thank you to all my viewers, my subscribers. Thank you to all my channel members. For your extra support. It means a lot to me. Yeah, and I had a great time spending some time with you guys here in the chat and just hanging out and talking and nerding about drums. So thank you guys. I hope you have a great summer, and if you have a vacation, enjoy it. One last thing about drumming, remember to take breaks. Even if you feel like I need to practice so much and I want to get better, please remember to take breaks and do something else, instead of drumming. You don't want to lock yourself in in the drum lab and practice all the time. You got to do some other stuff as well. Don't put too much pressure on you to become a great drummer, or remember to have fun with the instrument as well. Don't think of it as homework all the time. So take breaks. I'm not going to go to my studio today. I'm not going to record anything. I'm just going to have a day off. I had a gig last night, and the day before I had rehearsal for like, I don't know, almost 8 or 9 hours. So today I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do any drumming. I'm just gonna make some food and play video games. And yeah, so remember to take breaks, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As I always say, thank you so much for watching. Good luck with your drumming, and I'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much for being a subscriber.